Hello, welcome to Beyond the Boundaries. This is a preview for the second semi-final.
It's Geelong versus North Melbourne, Friday night at the MCG. They've met twice this year. Round 10 at Simmons Stadium. Geelong won that one by 20 points. The votes we gave in our group: Tom Hawkins got the 3, Jimmy Bartell got the 2, and James Kelly got the 1. Last time they met was round 19 at Etihad Stadium. Geelong won that one by 32 points. Mitch Duncan got the 3, Joel Selwood got the 2, and Alan Christensen got the 1. Geelong have won 3 of the last 5 encounters, and congratulations to Mitch Duncan, who plays his 100th game, and Brent Harvey, who equals the 4th most games at North Melbourne. We'll have a quick look at the finals path for these two teams. Geelong obviously lost to Hawthorn on the weekend, and North Melbourne beat your boys Josh Essendon. The winner of this game progresses to the first preliminary final, where they will meet Sydney. Starting with Geelong, they lost to Hawthorn by 36 points on the weekend, and Joel Selwood, I think he was best on ground. He finished with 16 contested possessions, 6 tackles, 9 clearances, and 7 inside 50s.
Don't forget the 3 goals and the 3
Don't forget the
score
3 goals
assists,
and 3 score assists. Thank you for reminding me. It was a terrific game from him.
Yep.
What do you think of that?
What was the captain's performance? I thought he was probably one of the few that lifted. For me, in terms of Geelong players that really, performed at the elite level, he was it.
Yep.
Stevie J had an excellent first quarter.
His first quarter, I think he had 9 disposals.
Yep. And then he just let himself get tagged out of the game too easy. He ended up with 17, so only managed 8 for the rest of the game. Jimmy Bartell was good. Had, I think, 20 disposals.
Well, I think after Joel Selwood, there's absolute daylight after that, as far as the performances go. But we'll go through a couple of the ones who were good. Mark Blitzarves, I thought, was a standout for me. 20 disposals, 10 of which were contested, at 75% efficiency, and 14 hit-outs. He had a pretty good all-round game.
He kicked a goal as well.
Yep.
So.
He went to Brad Hill at one stage and then was taken off him. Did a lot of things in the game. One of the standouts for me, Jimmy Bartell, as you mentioned, was good. 6 marks, 2 of which were contested, and 6 tackles. He also kicked 2 goals.
Yeah, but you can see already that apart from Selwood with his 31 touches, 7 inside 50s, 3 goals, there's no one really that comes really close to him. It's really just a one-man effort in that midfield in particular. The only other person I can even think of who came close is the man you're about to touch on, Matthew Stokes.
Matthew Stokes. He had 7 tackles.
Yep, and he had 28 touches to go with it. So, he's hit some form, but you think that Geelong, their midfield is a big part of their overall success plan.
Yep.
Their midfield and their defence. And to me, their midfield didn't fire on the weekend.
Yeah, you hate to try and make excuses. I think the absence of Alan Christensen coming out of that side during the week could have been a big factor. The midfield it's sort of teetering on the edge of not being a top 8 kind of midfield.
Yeah.
It isn't, I think, at the best. Yeah. There's just no depth to come in and make up for that. Whichever depth does come in plays as the sub, and then whoever was the sub just going to go.
We've seen the past few weeks Josh Caddy's been excellent, but this week we didn't see as good a
failed to fire.
So
consistency.
But
he had 4 good games before that, Josh.
He did. But
didn't play well in the game that mattered.
But I think Cam Guthrie was one that's sort of semi-lifted, but you don't. I mean, he's a run-with player, so you don't expect him to tear the game open and have 35 touches and what have you. So.
When he comes out, he does have 25 disposals, 4 tackles. He's having an impact on the game even when he does tag.
Yeah.
Obviously, Mitchell's broken away from him, but Cam Guthrie still had some impact on this game.
Correct.
Guys, I want to ask your opinion on Josh Walker. He's someone who I've been not a very big fan of for a very long time.
Whipping, really.
But in the first half, I thought there were some good signs for him. The 2 contested marks, the 1 goal on the halftime siren. I thought he was threatening to break that game open, Josh.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I thought he was fantastic in the first quarter, and probably the second quarter as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, the second half he faded out of the game when Geelong really needed him.
Well, I think it was sort of the hand was forced in that after the halftime siren, Harry Taylor, it was so obvious, went straight to full forward. He was walking straight towards me. I'm thinking, what are they doing here? As soon as they took Harry Taylor out of that back line, the back line got destroyed. And I think the reason it happened and Josh Walker went into the ruck, Hamish McIntosh was struggling so much in the ruck.
It was just awful.
He was getting absolutely run off his feet by David Hale and Jonathan Segler. And that's why they needed Josh Walker to move into the ruck and Harry Taylor to go forward. It just ruined the structure. One player failing to perform.
One of the defenders that did play well, though, was Jared Rivers.
Yeah.
He had 8 1%ers.
Great all year.
And it's been good all year, as you've mentioned. But Hamish McIntosh, he's come across from North Melbourne. He was a good ruckman North. He's still a good ruckman.
Yep.
He has failed to play any game so far at Geelong that have really given me the impression that this guy is a premier grade ruckman. Because right now, I'm thinking the top ruckman, guys like Jacobs, Mumford, Minson, Ryder, those kind of guys.
Yep.
And then you've just got sort of like a gap, and you've got the next batch of ruckmen.
I think that's a pretty fair assessment.
And you've got McIntosh there, but what disappoints me there is that he's got the ability to be in that Premier grade. He's got that ability, but he just hasn't shown it at all. And to be subbed out, and to be replaced in the ruck by a guy that Josh Walker.
Yeah,
doesn't
he's
really
been relied upon so heavily at the moment. Dawson Simpson's out for the season with his injury.
Yeah.
There's nothing other than McIntosh to play this first ruck.
If Geelong are going, in the past they've carried their way through. They've won a premiership with a poor. I don't want to say poor ruckman, but with a subpar ruck division.
Well, this is 2 years in a row that we've lost a qualifying final, and a big factor of that has been a ruckman failing to perform.
So, but this time McIntosh is probably, if you look at the ruckman that they've had, Trent West, all that kind of thing, he's probably the most capable of that batch, in my opinion, Hamish McIntosh. So he's got a lift, and he will lift the midfielders around him too if he does that.
15 hit-outs he had before he was subbed out, so that was a very subpar performance from him.
Moving on to North.
Hang on. A few things I want to point out.
Josh, have to say.
Yeah, because I haven't really had to say on the case at the moment.
Go ahead.
81 to 58.
The tackles?
The tackles in Hawthorn's
Oh, yeah,
favour.
you wanted me to remind you that, sorry.
Yeah, and you
sorry.
did.
Yep.
So you're lucky I did. That is just phenomenal. It just shows that the Hawks outwork Geelong. And I think if that happens again, Geelong are in real strife.
Big trouble.
I think personally too much is relied on Tom Hawkins. We saw on the weekend Brian
They
Lake.
did try to hit him up one too many times, yeah.
Brian Lake absolutely shut him out of the game. I think he only kicked the one goal.
But I think a lot of that had to do with Hawkins.
Yep.
Hawkins just seemed a bit out of it for me. He was dropping chest marks.
He fumbled 2 or 3 marks.
Yeah.
If it had gone the other way, if he had a bit, like there was one that he, just the fingertips he's missed. There's been a couple of those. He might have kicked 2 or 3. We might have been looking at this the other way. I think he was very unlucky there. Brian Lake's obviously done a very good job, but he's sort of just failed to capitalise on a couple of really good chances.
You make a good point that they can't constantly target Hawkins.
Well, this is what I'm saying. They've got to find someone else,
some other avenue,
midfielders to kick these goals.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, boys, but the second highest goal scorer at Geelong after Tom Hawkins is Jimmy Bartell.
I believe that's true, yeah. The problem isn't midfielders not kicking goals. Midfielders are kicking plenty of goals. Joel Selwood had 3 on the weekend. The problem is this forward structure not working. And the forwards, even when the forward structure is working, we saw Josh Walker almost having a breakout game, and then they had to throw him in the ruck. The problem is this ruck division. Nathan Vardy's out with an ACL. As soon as Josh Walker's able to come in and finally have an impact on the game, he has to get thrown into another position, which isn't his primary position.
Yep.
I think the problem is the tall forward structure, not suppose the midfielders, as you say, knocking goals.
I mean, there's big doubt on 3 big players as well, and if these 3 don't play, I might have to change my tip, to be honest.
Steve Johnson, Alan Christensen, and
Stephen Motlop.
All
in doubt to play.
Well, to be fair, Stevie J had a couple of amazing weeks, and now he's hit that trough again. Yeah. He's in some kind of form. He's had injury problems. Same with Stephen Motlop.
Yeah.
He had that amazing run of form where he just looked unstoppable, tagger or no tagger, and now he's just gone missing. So you wonder whether even with them playing, how big a difference will it make.
Just quickly before we go on, you saw Stevie J had a terrific start, but he was hindered by that foot.
This is a pretty serious injury he's playing with.
Yeah, I don't think you can take players into a cutthroat semi-final that are less than 80%.
Well, Steve Johnson is the kind of player that if he was fully fit, he would not be struggling the way he is.
No.
Because he's a star of the game.
Absolutely.
And you're right, you cannot risk him like that.
Just quickly, I think the word on those players is Steve Johnson. I've heard lots of conflicting information. He reckons he's confident he'll play. The coach said he's doubtful, so, make of that what you will.
Stevie J decides whether he plays or not, I believe.
Stephen Motlop, I think, will definitely play. Okay. Alan Christensen now here is 50-50 with that back issue.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on to North Melbourne, we better get onto them. They defeated the Bombers by 12 points. Oh, no. What did you make of that performance, Josh?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, really, their first half was putrid.
Yes.
And their second half was very, very good.
I tell you what, I was obviously watching with very great interest, and I tell you what, oh my goodness, I have no idea. I don't want to say this because North fans will be annoyed, but I will say it. Essendon lost that game. Essendon lost it. I know North won it, but a big part of that game was Essendon's midfield ceasing to run in that last quarter and in that third quarter. The run was absolutely dried up. They were running less than the remedial group at the local Weight Watchers.
See, I'm not sure I agree with you because I think North Melbourne's first half, they didn't run at all. Where in the second half, they took the game on.
Correct. But Essendon's midfield just stopped in that second half. In that last quarter, every single time Essendon had the ball, they were forced to bomb it inside 50. Every time North had the ball coming out of defence, there was a man loose on the wing, a man loose on the forward flank. Then when they got to the forward flank, there were about 4 guys with their arms waving up and down inside the 50. So Essendon just did not work hard enough in that game. But on North side of things, they were extremely good because they did fight back and they did show the shin bone of spirit, which they haven't shown for a long time.
There's one man who did work hard enough for North Melbourne, that is. It's Levi Greenwood. 7 marks, 7 tackles, 6 clearances, 7 inside 50s. The list goes on. Also kicked a goal. It was absolutely brilliant for them.
I reckon he may as well get spirit tattooed on his shin bone, boys. Because that's what this guy's got.
Well, a lot of people talk about Ben Brown. We'll get to Ben Brown in a minute.
Oh, Ben Brown.
But this guy won them the game, Levi Greenwood. Single-handedly won them the game. They were completely annihilated in the clearances in the first half.
Yep.
And this guy finished with how many?
He finished with 6.
Finished with 6.
Yes.
I reckon all of them came in the second half. He was just absolutely phenomenal.
Well, he lifted another man that has really gone under the radar and is very similar
definitely. Ben Cunnington.
Oh, yeah, he's so similar to Greenwood, Benny Cunnington, but he goes so unnoticed. 17 contested. How many contested ball winners do North have? I mean, they've got a starting midfield of Cunnington,
he's finished
Swallow and Greenwood.
Yeah.
Cunnington's finished with 7 clearances as well.
Yeah, and he's also had 7 clear. Yeah, you just mentioned he kicked a goal as well, 7 marks.
Yep.
And 2 of those marks were contested.
Yeah.
So he's another star of the game. Scotty Thompson.
Off half back. This is crazy. 24 disposals, 87% efficiency, 13 marks.
7 inside 50s. He was unbelievable.
He's done it all.
To be fair, a lot of those marks were chipped sideways in the first half.
He's got a bit of Michael Hibberd syndrome. But in any case, he played extremely well, and he would have gotten the job on Danaher. No,
Grimer had Danaher.
Then who did Scotty T go to?
He rotated between the big ruckman, Ryder and Belcher.
Because they had a big gap of space, which
So he did an alright job. But I think more or less he played a rebounding role, as Nick suggested.
Yep.
Speaking of rebounders, Nick.
Nick Del Santo.
Nintendo DS. played a very good game on the weekend.
24 disposals.
The Nintendo DS.
3 rebound 50s and a goal. Played a very solid game, did Nick Del Santo.
He was very, very good, and he had the tag from Hocking, but as we've all come to learn, the Hocking tag is as good as a performance-enhancing drug. It'll probably enhance your performance. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking. Hocking is a good tag. I'm just having a go at you, Josh. I'm trying to get a reaction out of this bloke. So
it's not working. Nathan Grimer is another one we've got to touch on. 10 marks, 13 1%ers. He was absolutely terrific.
He was, yeah, he was. He's one of the defenders. He's kind of like the Zach Dawson type of defender. I don't want to insult. I mean, I have a go at Nathan Grimer there, but he does do a lot of the stuff that goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
And he's one of the favourite sons of the club. You know, they love him there, and he's one of the most important cogs in that defence. 10 marks. Obviously, he knows where the ball's coming, boys.
Speaking of favourite sons, boys.
No, here we
Josh is going to have to back me up here. Can you read that little this bottom line down here?
No, because no one will believe it.
Well, this is my tip for North Melbourne
last week. This is his claim. Let me give the viewer the claim, and you can vote whether you believe in it or not.
Can I read out what I've written down here? North Melbourne by 18 points. Big Ben Brown to boot 4 crucial goals. That bit at the end there, I forgot to read out last week, and I'm absolutely kicking myself.
Forgot, he says.
Forgot.
I reckon we can go back to last week's footage and zoom in on his paper.
Whether or not you believe that I predicted this to happen or not, he has kicked 4 crucial goals. He also took 6 marks.
Well, he's got a number. Big, bustling, bad boy Ben Brown.
That's what I've written down here.
And he's got a number of names. He's got Sideshow Bob. He's got the BB gun.
Yeah.
He's a character, and he's already a cult hero.
What do you make of his game, Josh?
Well, he was, one of the different makers in the second half.
He was. And I tell you what, guess who he's keeping out? Because the man he's keeping out is also a cult hero.
Yep.
Majak.
Correct.
Majak's injured.
He is, but I would pick Ben Brown over Majak every day of the calendar year, I would.
Calendar year.
Yes.
What a way to burst onto the scene for Ben Brown.
Well, he was a superb, and he's a legitimate forward threat, Nick.
Yep.
I think you'll agree with me, Josh. Yep. Against Adelaide the week before, he kicked 2 or 3, I believe. And for this week, surely you've got to be looking at him and thinking somebody has got to go to this guy.
And he's an absolute deadeye. I think he kicked 4-1. But there was some pretty tough angles. He
doesn't miss, does he?
He's got a very, very unique runner.
Yeah, well, I've heard this line about 15 times over the weekend. He holds it straight, he drops it straight, he kicks it straight, he goes straight.
Well, what better way to do it?
Yeah.
He brings the ball up to his head.
I like it. I love it. You know, having watched Josh Kennedy over the years, I'm a big fan of people that have abnormal approaches. Unique, correct, yes.
Boys, before we go into the matchups, I have written on here, hard to see any changes underlined, but one bloke does have to come in, and his name's Brett Harvey.
Boomer. Yep. And this is a man that will give Geelong headaches because he does perform against them.
Who comes out?
For North, I don't know.
It's hard to
Maybe
say.
Kanye Turner would have to make
Whoever comes out is going to be
quiet game.
Whoever comes out is going to be very, very unlucky.
Well, Kanye Turner had a very average game against the Bombers.
But Kane Turner's been good in the last couple of weeks before that.
He has, but I'm just going by week to week.
Bastanak was the sub.
Bastanach, perhaps.
Bastanak.
Yeah, he might be kicked out, but
Matchups, boys.
yep.
Brent Harvey.
Of Boomer Harvey,
Brent Harvey, I think you'll have Cam Guthrie for company. Cam Guthrie is the go-to tagger for Geelong this season.
the cement head.
Brent Harvey's the cement.
He's got a Nick Dyson haircut.
He does,
doesn't he?
He's got a big block head. It's like he's a.
Or has Nick got the Cameron Guthrie?
I don't know.
That's correct. Yes.
Anyway,
but Guthrie's got the pace to go with Harvey.
He does. Oh yeah. And Guthrie also has the body to go with Harvey.
Yeah.
I think Guthrie has the football smarts to go with Harvey.
No, well, that's enough about Cam Guthrie. I think Brent Harvey pushes every tag to the limit.
Yep.
Because he will bust his gut running.
Yeah.
And he's a very clever player. He's been around for way more than long enough to know how to outfox these young taggers that think they
And
know what to
he's
do.
going to be fresh. He's had 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
He's going to be hungry.
Cam Guthrie's going to have his work cut out.
Oh yeah, he is. But I have faith in the young kid.
Now, Joel Selwood, he's had one of his best games of his career on the weekend. Absolutely tore that game to shreds. Who do we think's going to go to him, boys?
Well,
Sam Gibson.
Well, I think Levi Greenwood, and Josh thinks Sam Gibson.
We've had a very heated debate.
I honestly think Levi Greenwood will run head to head with him, or at least mind him.
Head to head's a different story.
Okay, well, I think Levi Greenwood will mind him and go head to head with him. And the reason I say that is because
He'll do both,
the same thing essentially. He'll go head to head with him and keep an eye on him around stoppages.
Okay.
Mr. Bloody Specific. But what I'm trying to say is that Greenwood, as you rightly mentioned, and as we all know, his input in the game is far too valuable to making him a one-stop shop tagger to completely shut down Selwood. That much is agreed upon.
Yes.
But I do think that Greenwood has experience going with Selwood. He's done it the last 2 times that these teams have met. And I just think that you don't want to take any risks with a man like Joel Selwood.
However, with Levi Greenwood, I think he's too crucial of a player in clearances.
So you think he'll be a freewheeling midfielder and Sammy G will take...
Yeah.
Well, whichever way it happens,
I think Levi Greenwood is more valuable in the tight contest, in clearance-wise, contested possessions, more than Sam Gibson is.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens, but... to be honest, I'm of the opinion that regardless of who goes to Selwood, he'll have a good game anyway.
I was going to say, I don't mind who you send.
I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters.
So we'll go on to the next one.
What kind of form he's on at the moment? Tom Hawkins, he had a poor game on the weekend, but he's been in great form before that. Do we think Grimer will take him?
I think Grimer will, yeah.
Yep, he's in good form, isn't he?
Grimer is in okay form. Joey Danaher did kick 4 on the weekend.
That's a good
Hawkins
point,
has torn Scooter Thompson to shreds in the past, but I think Grimer would have been injured the last 2 times they've played.
Grimer has been injured the last 2 times they've played this season, so I think Grimer's got the body, the height to go.
He's very grimy as well, isn't he?
Very, very grimy. Scotty Thompson, obviously a very, very good defender, but on the skinny side of things, as you said, can get ragdolled a bit by Tom Hawkins.
And having seen Scotty Thompson's performance of halfback, you wouldn't be any rush to move him off that halfback.
Absolutely.
Yeah, probably a good point. So that leaves us with Josh Walker. And you say you'd like Scooter Thompson off half back. Who goes to Josh Walker?
I don't know. A can of Coke?
I'm
kidding.
Scott Thompson does...
He'd go to Josh Walker, wouldn't he? Yeah.
He does zone off very well off his...
So he'd keep an eye on Josh Walker and then run away from him every now and then.
I might be underestimating the contested marking skills here.
No, here we go. But anyway,
he's jumped on the bandwagon.
He has, hasn't he? But
that was terrific. That was a terrific mark.
He hated him a couple of weeks ago. But anyway...
As last week,
I'll tell you what, forget
Big,
Josh
bustling,
Walker.
bad boy Ben Brown.
Big Ben Brown, yes.
Ben Brown.
It's been said, yeah.
With a big mop of hair there. Harry Taylor, I think, will follow him around. I just think that's the best body-to-body matchup there.
Wow, well, isn't that a compliment?
Yeah, well...
You're in your bloody 10th game and you got Harry Taylor.
Well, he's just kicked 4 goals on the weekend, and I think he's one of the key reasons why North Melbourne has won this game. He's kicked some crucial goals there, taken some crucial marks.
So you don't think Harry Taylor will go to Drew Petrie?
I think Lonigan's...
Tom Lonigan.
I think Lonigan's the better body-to-body matchup there.
Okay.
It's just because of the size of the players. There's 2 very big North Melbourne kids.
Well, I can tell you what, Ben Brown will have a good learning experience with Harry T, because Harry T doesn't let too many one-on-one contests go the other guy's way.
Contrast the things, he had a third... I mean, Ben Brown's played 9 games now.
Yep.
He had a third gamer on him on the weekend, and now he's got...
And
now we believe that Harry Taylor will go to him, who's played, 200 plus games?
Yeah.
Well, is it what? Triple
quite,
premiership? Is he triple premiership?
Triple premiership. Two.
Dual premiership, triple All-Australian defender, I believe.
Yeah. But guys, there's not many defenders in this side who haven't won
more
than 2 premierships.
Drew Petrie will be taken by Tom Lonigan.
Tom Lonigan, I think, will go to Drew Petrie, and Aaron Black will probably have Jared Rivers for
company.
Yep. Which brings us to the tips, boys. Who do we think is going to win this game and why? Vinay?
You go first.
I go first?
Yes.
Okay. What was my key message last week about North Melbourne?
If Essendon had a good start, Essendon would win. If they didn't, North Melbourne would win? No?
No.
Oh, that sounded like
something about...
I did say that. But that was not my key message.
Something about Hibberd off halfback and Steinberg or something.
Bottom 6 players.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, tell me, is Ben Brown a bottom 6 player
Correct.
at North Melbourne?
Yes, he is.
Not anymore.
No,
yes,
not anymore, but at the time he was.
Yes, he is.
He still is. Okay,
he still is a bottom 6 player.
Yes, I agree. Yes, okay.
He's had a very good game, but he's still
good
a bottom 6 player.
Thank you for grounding us. Continue.
Okay. No worries. Again,
just get so excited when you talk about Ben Brown. We all just want to...
These two teams have got very good midfields, they've got very good forwards, and they've got capable defenders.
One of the best defences in the competition.
Subpar defences. Yep, continue.
No, seriously, that's massively underrated.
Let him finish his point, or we'll be here till
I said
Christmas.
very, very good defenders.
You think capable?
Let him finish his point.
Anyway, go on.
Thank you.
Same will apply this week. Bottom 6 players. Whoever steps up in that bottom 6 players, I think will win the game.
Okay.
That's an interesting tip.
That's an interesting...
And it's good of you to keep Ben Brown grounded because I was about to explode out of my chair and say we'll win the Coleman next year, but continue.
just like you to say that. If Stevie J, Motlop and Christensen don't play, I will be picking North Melbourne.
So if all three don't play?
If all three don't play,
okay.
Probably even 2 don't play. That's how crucial they are. But at this stage, since Stevie J and Motlop are still in and Christensen's 50-50 come back in, I'll be tipping Geelong by 2 goals.
I think no matter what, Geelong will win. And I will tip them by about 12 points. Yes, that's right, Josh, that's right. Okay, I'll go 11 points. The reason I say that is because it's not often you see Geelong lose twice. Geelong are in a territory where they're very familiar. North have not won a finals. That game they won last week was their first finals win in 7 years, I believe. Geelong know what it's like to win when there is 40,000, 50,000, whatever, however many fans screaming at the top of their lungs.
Yep.
They're used to this under pressure scene. North aren't. And that's what will come down to it. North have too many youngsters in that team. Kanye, Big Ben Brown. You know what I mean? So I think Geelong will be hurting bad from losing to the old rivals, and they'll come out and win by, I reckon, 20 points. I'm changing my mind now. 40 points.
40 points?
I'm kidding.
20. Well, Vinay's just taking the words out of my mouth.
I'll say 20.
Not only has he stolen my reason for the win, but he's stolen my tip, my exact tip as well. I think Geelong are the more experienced finals side here. North Melbourne very inexperienced. They've done well to get where they were.
But one finals win in 7 years.
Yeah.
Borderline Richmond.
Worse than Richmond.
Anyway.
It is, but Richmond haven't played finals very often as well.
I'll get my tip out eventually, boys. Joel Selwood's in some unstoppable form. I think he'll back it up again this week. I think Geelong will win by, I'll say 25 points, seeing as you've stolen my tip.
And Ben Brown will be the first man to win the Brownlow and the Coleman.
What,
after Tony Lockett, obviously.
This year?
Yeah, next year, yes. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Norm Smith to go with it.
Nah, Ben Brown's better than Buddy.
Anyway, boys, that brings us to the end of our match preview for the second semi-final. Thanks very much for watching. There's a link to Fremantle vs Port Adelaide at the end, as well as Go North. We'll see you next time.
The Mighty Roos.